Should I wipe the screen? I should make a habit of wiping the lens. And the challenge continues. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aaliyah. Well, welcome back. My name is Aaliyah Zealous. I am a self-published author, an avid reader, a self-care junkie, and I am currently on my Healing Through Literature Spring Challenge Journey, Inner Child Edition, where I am embarking on healing my inner child through literature. Specifically to recapture the magic and curiosity that I once had as a child when it comes to reading. And I have completed the first task on my challenge list, which was to read a book by an author from your childhood. If you watched my last video, then you know that that childhood author that I chose to read was R.L. Stine and his book 99 Fear Street. The dialogue in this book is often done well. You can really tell that this book was written for a younger audience. The writing often tells you what's happening instead of showing you what's happening. Even though this book is written for a younger audience, like middle school, half of high school, it's so funny to see how morbid R.L. Stine was. I guess when I was younger, I didn't think that R.L. Stine was very morbid, but I guess children really are fascinated by the macabre and taboo. So yeah, I didn't realize that it was that morbid when I was young, but yeah, R.L. Stine is very morbid. A lot of the motivations and problems within this book really are problems that would only be important to younger children of the middle school / high school age. So it was hard to actually care for some of the characters because sometimes the problems that they were having was, in my eyes, kind of petty in a sense. So it was hard to care about some of the characters without massively rolling my eyes based on how petty some of the things that were bothering them or some of the problems were. There's not a lot of finesse to the writing. It's very straightforward and to the point. Again, kind of that telling, not showing aspect. I'm not really a big fan of third-person books because I just feel like I can't really engross myself in the story like I would want to. If I'm going to read a story, somebody has to carry me in their head at all times because the God-eye view of stories, sometimes it just makes me really dizzy and I find it hard to really sympathize and empathize with the characters. But overall, this story really did satisfy that craving that I was had for young childhood favorites and the nostalgia that I was yearning for. It also made me realize how much me and my taste in literature has grown, and I guess that never really crossed my mind before. These books used to be so vivid to me and they used to be out of this world to me, and it's interesting to recognize that maybe that spark that I haven't been feeling as of late in my adult years as to why I haven't been able to be interested or more intrigued by the books that I've been picking up is probably because my taste in literature has grown so much, probably without me even realizing it, and probably in ways that I can't even fully articulate. And the books that I was picking up that I thought would interest me because of the books that I'd read in my past really weren't hitting because they just weren't in line with the level of reading experience that I was looking for with who I currently am. Even though these books aren't so vivid to me now, they'll still hold a special place in my heart as books that have gotten me into reading in the first place. One thing about R.L. Stine though is that his stories are always creative. They are so creative, they're original, they have a unique storyline, and that's one thing that I really love about him as an author is that no matter what age or reading level that you're at, his books are creative. He does scary and interesting stories pretty well, and reading a book of his really helped to recapture that childhood curiosity that I would often have when I was exploring books in my youth in the public Detroit library or a bookstore. So next, I'm jumping around a little bit on my list and I'm going to jump to read a fantasy novel that immerses you in a completely new world. Now, I wanted to skip to this one specifically because I have already bought a book that is in alignment with this specific task or this specific challenge, which is The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winters. Yes, I know I kind of skipped ahead a little bit, but I couldn't help myself. I read the synopsis, I read the back, and oh my goodness, I was so intrigued. It's an epic fantasy about a world cast in an eternal war, and it follows this young man and his journey as he leads this people called the Omahai people. I'm really excited to read a book by this author, Evan Winters, because you don't often see Black men in fantasy, especially epic and high fantasy books. I already read the first chapter, or the prologue of it, and I'm not gonna get into too much details, but oh my god, it had me crying, bawling my eyes out. It comes out the gate heavy. I don't want to say heavy, but it comes out the gate heavy. It comes out action-packed and emotional, and you're really immediately invested in these characters. I don't know how he did it, but we were plunged right into the world, right into this fantasy world, and oh my goodness. It's a completely different tone change from R.L. Stine, and where you could tell that 99 Fear Street was written for a younger audience, like middle school, high school, The Rage of Dragons is written for an advanced reader. It's hitting much more complex themes and topics and emotions, and it does it well. Like I said, I've only read the first chapter, or the prologue, and so once I'm done with it, I will do a full review of this book. But it might take me a little bit because this is a little bit of a longer book, so it's gonna take me some time to get through. Anyway, my spring book challenge template is available on my Pinterest and my Instagram if you want to join in on the spring fun. Let me know if you guys are thinking about reading a book based on this challenge. And if you want any more videos on books or book reviews, check out this video or playlist, whichever way I put it, and I will see you there. Bye!